In the name of Allah, the gracious, the merciful, dear students, hope you're all fine. Today I'm sharing another video lecture with you, and the topic of this lecture is elements of effective speaking and qualities of good speech. Dear students, in this lecture I will talk about elements of effective speech, and I will also discuss qualities of good speech. At the end of this lecture, you will be able to know about elements of effective speech. You will also be able to know about the qualities of a good speech. Dear students, I will talk about elements of effective speaking. Every person has his own criterion for evaluating effective speaking. However, the popular rule of effective speaking is that the audience must listen with rapt attention to what the speaker is saying. The listener cherishes a desire to listen to the speaker again and again. There are some traits commonly accepted which are vital for speaking. Now, what to say? In what to say, the first thing is perfect clarity of thought and purpose. It is practically impossible for a speaker, however good he may be, to know each and everything on the subject chosen to talk about. So, bringing perfect clarity of thought and purpose is not possible, but if you bring it, it will definitely help you speak effectively. The second is a practical course in effective English speaking skills. However, whatever he/she speaks must clearly reflect his clarity of thought on the subject concerned. The purpose for which the decision has been taken to speak on a particular subject should always be crystal clear to the speaker. Lack of clarity in this regard makes the listener confused and disinterested in listening to the speaker. So, this thing is very important that whatever a speaker speaks, he should have good command on speaking skills and his English must be good. The third is useful and interesting content. The content of the talk should be useful and interesting to keep alive the listener's interest throughout the interaction. The listener should find it both interesting and personally useful to remain attentive to what the speaker says. So it means that whatever you share, whatever you speak about, that must be fruitful, productive to the receiver. If it is productive, receiver will take interest in that. The fourth element is thorough familiarity with essential components of the subjects. Before speaking on the subject, a speaker is expected to acquaint himself with various dimensions of the subject thoroughly to do full justice to his speech. He should depend on the need, interest, and level of understanding of the listeners. He should adjust the material of the speech according to the time available. Dear students, in last slide I talked about what to speak, and now I will talk about how to speak. So whenever you speak, the first thing which is important, that is self-confidence. Self-confidence is the secret of success in life. A confident person is the one who always thinks positive about what he does or says and never doubts its happy outcome. Speaking in English is no exception to this. A speaker with bubbling self-confidence always wins the hearts of his listeners. A critical study of the life of famous speakers and orators of the world reveals that they have one thing in common: self-confidence. They had great self-confidence right from the beginning of their career. They were confident of their ability to speak well in all situations of life. The second is a unique style. What a listener likes most about a speaker is his style of presentation. Some people have earned great popularity only because of their inimitable style. Simplicity, brevity, and uniqueness of style, when fused together, go a long way to enable a speaker to produce an effective speech. The third element is good command of words. It is very essential for the speaker to use right word at the right place. In order to do this, he must have a good active vocabulary. The ability to use every word as different parts of speech will further enable him to communicate on the subject concerned effectively. In the absence of appropriate usage of words, a speaker fails to communicate exactly what that particular situation demands. The fourth important element of effective speaking is good pronunciation. A speech talk, especially the one in English delivered with correct pronunciation, right stress and appropriate intonation, is like a musical treat to its listener, which they want to listen to with a feeling of give me more. So this thing is important that whenever you speak, try to speak uh, with correct pronunciation. The fifth important element of how to speak is good humor, wit, and interesting anecdotes. Since human energy gets depleted with work and time, all good speakers try to replenish it with humor, wit, and interesting anecdotes while speaking. So this thing is very important that whenever you speak, try to insert anecdotes, humor, wit in your speech. It will develop interest of the listener to listen. The sixth important element is motivating. A good speaker should always be motivating and inspiring to his listeners in order to achieve the objectives of talk. He speaks from his heart, not from his throat. An effective speech always comes out of the heart and not from the mind of the speaker. So, whenever you speak, try to speak with full heart, try to be encouraging, try to be motivating in your speech. The seventh is ensuring peace of mind. A disturbed mind can hardly make an effective speech. Like effective music, effective speech is produced only when a speaker has his mind at peace and is focused on the subject. He speaks according to the ability of his listeners. In this way, he comes to them. So try to have this ability to ensure peace of mind of the listener. The eighth important element, which is also very important in how to say or what to speak, is self enjoyment. It is a universal experience that the audience enjoys only that speech which the speaker himself enjoys. He does not ridicule his rivals, he does not pass judgment on any issue or any person. His speech is logical and quite convincing. So, whenever you speak, try to enjoy your speak. If you enjoy your speak, you will be able to bring enjoyment to your receiver. Now, I will tell you when to speak. The time at which something is said or presented is equally important in determining the outcome of the talk. Saying something at the right time with a positive bent of mind is bound to give fruitful results. A peaceful environment as opposed to a noisy one definitely contributes in making a talk or a speech highly receptive to its listeners. A good speaker, therefore, before making a speech, always makes an effort to create a rapport between himself and the audience. So, this thing is very important that whenever you speak, you should know what to speak, how to speak, and when to speak. If you are watchful about this, so you can be an effective speaker. Now, dear students, I will teach you different qualities of a good speech, or you can say that prerequisites of good speech. The first prerequisite is it should be clear. This is the most important quality of a good speech. All the emotion, facts, arguments, and ideas should be conveyed in a clear manner. There should be no scope for anomalies and confusion. The audience should be able to understand the speech with minimum effort and concentration. The second is that it should be correctly worded. The speaker should not use unfamiliar sounding words and examples which do not make sense to the audience. The speaker should remember that he is speaking to the audience, so it should be according to the mental ability of the audience. The third is it should be correctly delivered. The right tone and pitch is very important. This has the right impact on the audience. Volume should be optimum and speaker should be tension free. So it means that whenever you speak, you need to be audible to your audience without any problem or without any labor. Now I will talk about the fourth quality of a good speech, and that is the speech should be audience oriented. It should be modeled on the type of audience who is going to hear it. It should match the wavelength of the audience. Uh, there are some points that can be kept in mind, that what is the age group of the audience. If they are children, then there should be more of stories and familiar words and situations. It should be in simple language. If they are senior citizens, the speech should be more appealing to their frame of mind. For example, you cannot mention childish incidents and relate fairy tales to older people. Similarly, the audience can be composed of teenage schoolgoers and young executives and so on. Then you have to gear your content to what will interest the audience. The second is that what are the religious views of the audience? Are they moderates or extremists? Are they Christians, Hindus, Muslims, or Jews? So according to that, you have to mold your speech. Another question is that what are their socio-economic background? For example, you cannot talk to people living close to the poverty line about the pleasures of managing their finances using mutual funds. You should also know that is the audience a general one or specialized one? Is it composed of doctors only or of marketing managers only or is it a general collection of people? So answers to these questions are very important. Another question might be that what is the political focus of the group? If the audience is pro-government and speakers start speaking on the shortfalls of the ruling party, surely no one will appreciate it. They may even refuse to allow you to speak. And then what is the size of the audience? This is also good to know before preparing for speech, that what is the size of the audience. And then what is the audience interested in? This is very essential to find out for the speaker. If the audience has come for some serious enlightening, there is no use of making a humorous speech. It should be more substantial. Another important quality is that it should be of adequate time. The concentration span of the audience should be kept in mind. It should also be suitable to the occasion. If an in-depth speech is called for, you might have to extend time, but care must be taken not to test the patience of the listeners. So you need to be careful about timing of your speech. So timing should be moderate. It must be based on the importance of your material, the material which you're going to share. The sixth quality of good speech is that it should be interesting. When you give a speech, you hope that people will listen to it and respect you after it, but this can get thought if the given speech is boring and dragging. Humor can be added if the topic allows it. Quotations can also be given. Some people present a few statistics that make people sit up and take notice. Whatever it is, it should not make the audience want to leave the premises. The speaker must end just at the right time. So ending at the right time is important, and whatever you share that must be interesting for the audience. The seventh quality is that it should be concrete. Any speech which is being delivered should not be abstract. People should be able to visualize. For example, if the speaker says AIDS is growing at a very fast rate in Pakistan, it does not convey much in a concrete way. However, if he says every day in Pakistan 10 people contact AIDS, it becomes easier to people to understand. Another important quality of a good speech that it should suit the occasion. If a speaker wishes to say something, he should keep it in accordance with the situation and topic on hand. Too much of divergence removes the focus from the main topic and distracts the listeners. So this thing is very important that whatever you speak that must be according to situation and that must be merit based. And the topic which you're going to discuss, every word which you speak that must be relevant, that must be according to the topic. Another quality of good speech is that it should be delivered with confidence. If the speaker is shaky and hesitant, he will not make an impact on the audience and it will eventually be a waste of time for everyone. So whenever you say something, whenever you speak something, whenever you share any material, so this thing is very important that you need not to be shaky. You do not need to feel hesitation. You should be very much confident and bold. So try to be cool and composed whenever you share anything. The last but not the least quality of good speech is the speech should be truthful. If a speech is full of lies and untrue statements, people will understand and will stop paying attention to what the speaker says. The speaker should tell the truth at all the times. So this thing is very important that try to share authentic material. Whatever you speak, you must be sure about it. So if you do not share authentic material, it will affect the reliability and validity of your speech. An audience will not take interest, only audience will not believe, or audience will not pay attention to whatever you say during your speech. Dear students, now I will tell you about importance of effective speaking. Effective speaking has the following importance in the public and professional life. The first importance is by means of clean and effective speech, we deliver our message to the audience clearly A clear message is the core of effective, prompt, and useful feedback. The second importance is in public life, good speakers are always held in great esteem. They enjoy the confidence of the people. The key to success of many political leader, businessman, salesman, or religious leader lies in his capability of making effective speeches. The third importance is if you are connected with some business organization, you can promote the business of that firm by your art of making good and effective conversation. The fourth importance is there are occasions when businessmen, industrialists, and salesmen have to address seminars to explain the leading points of their business. By means of effective speaking, they can explain their ideas about their business in a convincing manner. Another importance is the art of good and effective speaking helps a man to overcome the problems and difficulties that the workers face in a firm. A good speaker can resolve easily the conflicts and differences that exist among the workers of a firm. Another importance is a good speaker creates an atmosphere of happy teamwork among the senior staff and the lower one. He highlights the problems and difficulties of both the senior and lower staff in a convincing manner. He acts as a bridge to resolve their difference. In this way, he creates friendly and congenial atmosphere in his organization. So this was all about importance of effective speaking.